Hello there everyone, and welcome back to my channel Soaring with Social Sciences. If you're new here, a very special welcome. This is where we discuss social sciences. In particular, today we want to focus on school-based assessment, and we're looking at part 2 of our school-based assessment. If you missed part 1 of the video, then please go back and check what you have missed. Based on our SBA timelines, you should all have completed task 1 to 3 by now. In today's video, we are going to be focusing on part 2 of the SBA, which is really looking at the other 5 tasks from task 5 to 9. In case you missed the previous video, please go back and watch so that you can have a better understanding of what is required of you for task 1 to 4. At the very least, you should by now have completed tasks 1 to 3. So let's get into our task 5 to 9 for today. Sit back, relax, and let's go. In today's video, we are going to explore procedures for data collection, presentation of data, analysis and interpretation of data, statement of findings, and recommendation and implementation strategy. So let's begin with task 5. Task 5 speaks to data collection procedure. Here is where you're going to describe in one short paragraph how your study was designed. You need to tell us how many persons were in the sample. You need to state as well the gender and age group of the persons in the sample, as well as tell the source of data collection and the duration. How long did it take you to collect the data from these persons? Task 5 also requires that you identify and clearly describe the procedures you selected to collect your data. Tell how the sample was selected. That is, say what sampling method was used. Did you randomly select your sample, or did you use a variable to determine who got selected and who didn't? In part 1 of the video, I would have explained to you the different types of sampling methods or techniques that can be used. At this stage, you're just saying which one you used. You are also required to explain how you got the information from persons. Describe step by step how it was done. Next, we go on to task 6, which is presentation of data. Having collected your data, the next step is to present it in graphic forms. Collate or tally your data by adding up the different responses for each question. You are advised to present at least 6 diagrams. Choose your most crucial questions to present diagrams for. You must have 3 different types of diagrams using combinations of bar graphs, pie charts, tables, pictograms, maps, etc. Remember that you must have at least 1 table. Now, students generally asked what's the difference between a pictogram and a table. Both a pictogram and a table are usually drawn up the same way and can be used to present the same information. The basic difference though is that the regular table will use numbers while the pictogram will use symbols to represent the numbers. Remember that your presentation of data must have at least 1 table, and also you are to include 3 different types of diagrams. Every diagram must have a title, and each diagram must be properly labeled and should be accurate. You are also required to state the source of your data at the bottom of each diagram as depicted here. All you need to say is source, fieldwork 2022, or whatever the year of the exam. for which you are submitting an SBA. And this now takes us to task 7, which deals with data analysis and interpretation. This is the task that carries the most marks. It is worth 8 marks and is to be done as an essay. However, please ensure that you deal with each diagram presented in a separate paragraph. Analyze and interpret the data in light of the question you asked in task 1. Describe the data first and then say what it means to you. Look at each piece of data and identify trends and significant figures and patterns that you notice. Make comparisons with majority versus minority responses. Compare as well the negative versus the positive responses. Interpret the data in terms of its relationship to the problem being investigated. You should also make a link between the data presented and the statement of problem. Pay attention to how you express yourself and ensure that you are not making conclusions at this stage. For example, try to use phrases such as "the data suggests that," or "it appears from the data that," etc., etc., so that you are not making statements that are conclusive, but you are analyzing and interpreting what the data means to you. Let's now turn our attention to task 8, statement of findings. In this task, you will make your conclusions based on your findings. Write 3 statements on what you have found out from your investigation of the problem. Your conclusions must be based on data presented. As you look back on your statement of problem that you started out with at task 1, based on the data presented that you have now analyzed and interpreted, what conclusions can you draw? Write 3 statements making reference to the relevant diagrams. And then finally we come to task 9, recommendation and implementation strategy. Based on your investigations, what recommendations do you have for solving the problem? What solutions can you present? In this task, you are required to give at least 2 recommendations and then outline a step-by-step plan to implement one of the recommendations. What implementation strategy do you have to solve the problem you investigated? That takes us to the end of the 9 tasks. But here now is a final word. Social studies SBAs are not as difficult as some persons make them out to be. What is important is time management and starting early to meet your deadlines for completing each task in a timely manner. If you follow the guidelines, completing all the tasks as instructed, you should be fine. Don't stress about it. Do your own work and remember, avoid plagiarism. Again, remember to go through the handouts for more clarity. Do you have any questions? If so, don't be afraid to ask. Just drop me a line in the comments below about any question pertaining to task 1 to 9. Well, that's all for today. Bye for now. Happy learning. See you soon. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. In that way, you won't miss the new videos when they come out. Thanks for watching.